You know what's funny? They always talk about how Wrigley feels alive. The ivy, the wind, the ghosts. But today, it doesn't feel alive. It feels loaded. The Reds walk into Chicago with a 28-29 record and a pitcher who's statistically perfect. Abbott is 4-0, a 1.77 ERA, a whip barely above 1. It's the kind of profile that makes casual bettors twitchy and Vegas smile. Because on paper, that's a trap. You see, the Cubs aren't winning games. They're chewing through them. First in MLB in runs per game, top 3 in slugging, stolen bases, home runs, and now they're hot. 8 of their last 10, 4 straight wins, and back at Wrigley where they're 17-11. They don't need perfection from Colin Rea. They just need average. And he gives them that. A 3.28 ERA, more innings than Abbott, fewer walks, steady execution. Nothing flashy, just competent. Which is exactly what you want when the lineup is this explosive. And this is where people fall for the wrong story. They see Abbott's ERA, and they think they're smarter than the house. But this isn't about a pitcher. It's about pressure. The Cubs know who they are. The Reds are still trying to prove it. Sharp bettors don't chase hype. They chase imbalance. And this is imbalance in disguise. And today's AI pick is Chicago Cubs ML, 172. It's not a bargain. But it's not a bluff either. Wrigley's quiet for a reason. The real noise? It's waiting in Philadelphia. And if you thought the Cubs game had a twist, wait until you see what Abaddon found when he opened the ledger on Brewers versus Phillies. He doesn't speak unless he must. And tonight, he must.
There are days when chaos rules the diamond, when runs pour like wine and bats sing without mercy. This is not that day. Tonight, Philadelphia is quiet, unnaturally so. You can feel it in the air above Citizens Bank Park. The kind of stillness that doesn't soothe, it stalks. The Brewers arrive fast but flawed, 3rd in the Central, 2nd in stolen bases, and 25th in home runs. They run, they don't strike, and when the game slows, they disappear. Their pitcher, Quinn Priester, is not famous, but he is efficient when left alone. 1 earned run in 3 of his last 4 starts. No fireworks, just restraint. Taijuan Walker waits on the other side. Older, tired perhaps, but deliberate. 6 earned runs in all of May, and none in his last home start. A pitcher who doesn't overpower. He subtracts. The public won't love this one. They'll call it boring. They'll scroll past. Let them. Because what we have here is tension, not spectacle. History tells it first. 5 of their last 6 meetings went under. Only one of those games cracked 7 runs. Last year, this matchup was a graveyard for overs. Now they return, with weaker bats, better defense, and bullpen depth whispering, not tonight. Yes, the Phillies are rolling, but even storms pause to reload. They've won 4 straight. They've earned rest. And that's what tonight is. A breath. A low tide before another surge. There are no bombs here. Just innings. Just shadows. Just silence. And today's AI pick is under 9, 110. If you listen carefully, you'll hear it. The game whispering instead of shouting. And the ones who listen, they find the edge Vegas tries to bury. But we're not finished. Because just beyond that silence is a noise Atlanta can't ignore. The Braves have called for power, and Boston answered with fire. Malachi saw the script. Elvis felt the tremor. What they found in Red Sox versus Braves isn't just a game. It's a warning with teeth. And they're not coming to talk.
Elvis, did you see the dog and pony show Vegas is trying to sell us today? They want you hypnotized by Boston's numbers, the slugging, the run count, the fireworks. But that's surface noise, smoke. You and I know better. Boston's got the 8th best offense in baseball, sure. But they also have the 29th ranked defense and a bullpen that couldn't hold a teacup steady. 14 blown saves. 46% conversion. That ain't major league. That's a liability. And Lucas Giolito? Look at his name, not his numbers. Because that 5.27 ERA tells the truth the headlines won't. He's hittable, he's bendable. And when he bends, this Braves lineup, even cold, can break him open. Now the books are setting this one up like Atlanta's the wounded dog. 5 straight losses. barely breathing at home. Public's off them. Noise is growing. But that's the point, Elvis. This ain't about who looks strong. It's about who survives the sixth. Grant Holmes doesn't flash. He calculates. 3.68 ERA, 1.16 whip, and one of the best defensive units in baseball behind him. He throws ground balls into gloves. He eats innings. He waits. Boston? They swing like they've got something to prove. But you don't win games with panic. You win them with precision. And today's AI pick is Braves ML, 128. Let Boston chase power. We'll take control. Because tonight isn't loud. It's surgical. And the surgeon? He's been waiting in the shadows. The next field isn't a stadium. It's a proving ground. Cardinals versus Rangers. One side is dying slower than they admit. The other has no idea they're bleeding out. But he knows. He's seen the rot forming at the edge of the scoreboard. And he doesn't guess. He deciphers. Natas is entering the field. And when he speaks, there will be no debate. Only revelation.
They do not scream in Arlington. Not yet. They whisper. They question. They stare at a team that was built to defend a title. And wonder why it's bleeding in silence. Texas entered this season with the weight of a crown, and the illusion of strength. But strength without strike is noise. And right now, this team is choking on its own stillness. One run, one hit, one loss after another. Rangers fans won't say the word collapse. Not yet. But I've seen the shape of failure. It doesn't start with defeat. It starts with acceptance. And while they nod politely to Jack Letter's era, they forget the walks. The contact, the volatility. This is not the kind of pitcher you want against a team that hits for average, punishes mistakes, and doesn't need fireworks to draw blood. St. Louis is not elite. But they are present. They've won 5 of 6. Their bats are measured. Their defense is ranked first in the league. And in Matthew Liberatore, they do not have a savior, they have a silencer. 8 straight starts with 2 runs or fewer. He doesn't dominate, he erases. The Rangers, they've scored more than 2 runs just 3 times in their last 9 games. Against lefties, they're not just struggling, they're historically inept. 356 ops in their last 67 lefty matchups. A 3 WRC+. That's not a slump, that's spiritual sleep. They are not just cold, they are lost. And tonight, they meet a team that's found its rhythm. And its target. And today's AI pick is Cardinals ML, minus 115. If this were war, Texas wouldn't need reinforcements. They'd need a resurrection. But there are no miracles on the field tonight. Only judgment. And yet, judgment does not end here. Because while the Rangers fade quietly, another storm brews in the Bronx. The coastlines shift, the lights rise, the names grow heavier, and when the Dodgers land in New York, it won't be myth meeting history. It'll be the imposter walking into the lion's den. Anna knows what's hiding behind the lights. And she's already inside.
You want a headline? Here it is. New York sent a weapon to finish what they started. This isn't just a World Series rematch. It's a retribution op. And they didn't send a rookie. They sent Max Fried. Undefeated. Sub 130 ERA. The man hasn't taken a loss in 13 straight starts. He doesn't pitch games. He closes cases. Every outing this year, 2 runs or less. No drama, no unraveling, just cold calculation and a reminder that dominance can look like silence. And what do the Dodgers bring? Tony Gonsolin. Once sharp, now shaky. ERA climbing, whip leaking. He's been hit, walked, exposed. 8 runs allowed over his last 9 innings. And now he faces the best defense in baseball. You know what that is? A setup. Because these aren't just numbers. These are pressure points. The Yankees lead MLB in home runs, slugging, and opponent batting average. And they're riding a 5-game win streak with the precision of a team that's already seen the parade and wants the confetti reset. The Dodgers? They're split. Caught between who they were and who they fear they've become. The bats are still lethal. But the starting arms? Cracking. The bullpen? Worn. The home record? Mortal. They hoisted the trophy last October. But tonight? They don't look like champions. They look like a memory trying to reassert itself. And in that space, in that gap between past glory and current pressure, the Yankees move like wolves. Fried sets the tone. The bats take the leash off. The scoreboard doesn't tell the story. The silence does. And today's AI pick is Yankees ML 125. You can watch the lights, or you can see the trigger. And tonight, the trigger is clean, but don't move yet. Because if you think this night ends with a strikeout or a swing, you're not listening closely enough. There's still one voice left in the shadows. She watched the data fall. She counted every breath. She remembers every name. Lilith has returned, and she's ready to tell you what we burned and what we cashed.
The books opened 5 doors. We didn't knock. We kicked them in. Cubs ML. We took their bait and burned it back in their faces. Under 9.5 in Philly. No fire, only famine. Braves ML. Boston brought noise. We answered with silence. Cardinals ML. Texas asked for mercy. We sent Liberatore. Yankees ML. The champions came home, but Fried came hunting. Los libros abrieron 5 puertas. No tocamos. Las derribamos. Cachorros línea de dinero. El cebo fue nuestro combustible. Menos de 9.5 en Filadelfia. Ni fuego. Solo hambre. Bravos línea de dinero. Boston gritó. Nosotros susurramos. Cardenales línea de dinero. Texas rezó. Liberatore respondió. Yankees línea de dinero. Vinieron por un desfile. Salieron en cenizas. Like, subscribe. Will we cash or will we burn? And tonight's final word? They always ask when the curse began. But the smart ones, they ask when it was invited. 5 doors open tonight. Not all of them will close. Me bets are tickets. Others are tombstones.